Grateful to all of the opportunity to come here and speak few words. I'm going to speak on the topic of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a very important quality that actually we are expected to show as Vaishnavas. All our previous acharyas have actually shown this quality, and it's a very beautiful quality. So we'll talk a little bit about this. It's based on some lectures that we have heard of His Holiness Dada Swami Maharaj, seminar by Mahatma Prabhu, and various other such topics. Chanakya, in Chanakya Niti, he says, uh, he mentions four things. He says that the beauty of the cuckoo is in its voice, right? So its beauty of the cuckoo, it's not a beautiful bird, but its voice is very beautiful. So the beauty of the cuckoo is in the voice. The beauty of a woman is in her chastity, character, chastity. The beauty of a man is in his knowledge. And the beauty of a saintly person is in power to forgive, right? So the more a saintly person has the ability to forgive, to that extent, they become more beautiful to other Vaishnavas. So forgiveness is such a quality that is very crucial, very, very important for us to have any peace of mind or any peace or harmony in this world, because this is the age of Kali. Kali is called the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Here there is going to be quarrel at every corner. There's going to be quarrel at the smallest excuse. There is no excuse needed also, not even small excuse. Just for no rhyme or reason. In Delhi, when you're in Delhi, if you look at someone, you just look at for 4 or 5 seconds, they'll immediately say, yeah, you take it. So really, there is no excuse needed for anyone to fight. Kali Yuga is a place where there's going to be fighting. So rampant corruption, rampant sinful activity going on. People are working very selfishly. People are working, constantly plotting against each other. Somehow, I will, press this person down, and because of that, I will become powerful. And with my power, I will have more control over the world, or whatever it is. It may not be world, it may be control of some small thing, but that power is very important. And if I'm losing that power because of somebody else, I get into a fight with that person. And yeah, if if we cannot, if we make mistakes, and we make mistakes in such situations because our egos are involved, our feelings are involved, we make mistakes. People make mistakes. This is Kali Yuga, nobody is perfect. So when people make mistakes, if we cannot forgive as Vaishnava, at least see outside world में forgiveness का concept ही नहीं. There's hardly any concept of forgiving anybody. People don't forgive or forget. They say no, we should learn to forgive and forget. People don't want to forgive also, and even if they forgive, they will never forget. All their life they will remember, oh, you did like this to me, you said like this, you stole money from me, you did this, you cheated me, whatever, they will remember for lifetime. They will never forget. So, if we don't have, in an age of Kali, where this is going to be all around us at all times, see, you're never going to have a happy, peaceful situation in Kali Yuga. It's not going to happen. Because as long as you're in Kali Yuga, there will be fighting, there will be quarrel, there will be hypocrisy, there will be cheating. It's going to happen. This is the nature of the world. Now, if I decide, no, I will not forgive, I don't make I cannot. If I become like that, the peace is getting disturbed. My peace. When I don't have the ability to forgive people, I will not be peaceful. There will be no relationships left. For a person who has inability to forgive, sorry, I'm speaking like this because I've got some ulcer in my mouth. Yeah, so a little bit I can talk like this without moving my lips too much, tongue to teeth too much. So just imagine if we cannot forgive people, we cannot have relationships. Look at a husband and wife. How many mistakes do husbands create? Commit. दिन में ऐसा 8-10 मिस्टेक तो हो ही जाता है. And wives also commit many mistakes. So of course, they will never accept it. That's another matter. Say, no, no, you don't make mistakes. The men who make mistakes. But yeah, women also make mistakes. Now, if both of the partners take it on their ego that no, I will not, no, I will not say sorry. One person says, I will not say sorry. So therefore, when person doesn't say sorry, there is a question of forgive. But even if person says sorry, if you are unable to forgive, what happens? No fights, and the person who said sorry, what happens to that person? Suppose, suppose I made a mistake, okay? And I said to my wife that I'm really sorry, I made a mistake. It's a blunder on my part, please forgive me, I'm sorry. And wife says, sorry, I can't forgive you for this. Now what happens to me when she says like that? She didn't say, by the way, I'm just telling as an example. If she says like that, then what happens to me? Person who asked for forgiveness. Huh? I will be hurt. Okay, what else? Next time I won't say sorry. I will feel that अरे हटाओ यार sorry बोल के क्या फायदा होता है? Anyway इसने forgive करना नहीं है. तो मैं sorry क्यों बोलूं? I will also make it an ego issue. How will a relationship survive in such an environment where if a person is unwilling to give forgiveness? Think about your neighbors, your friends. If they have committed mistakes, suppose your neighbor commits a mistake. Suppose they said something very rudely, they spoke to your child, very rudely, they spoke to your husband or wife. Okay, someone in the office spoke very rudely to you. Okay, and later on, that person came and said sorry to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay. You are not forgiving that person. Why do we not forgive? When someone is saying sorry, why do we not forgive? Have you ever thought about this? Why do we not forgive? Person has come and apna ego chhod ke, that person has come and said sorry to you, begging for forgiveness. But still we don't forgive. Why? Why do we do that? Ego, pride. So what in our ego is causing us to do this? I mean, what kind of ego is this? That person is admitting I made a mistake and saying sorry, but still I'm not able to let go. Can you imagine what this does to the relationships? In an office, I remember when I was working for SAP, this is many years back, I'm talking something that happened in 2010. So my boss in SAP, he was my boss 2006 and 2007. In 2008 and 9, I had a different boss. Okay, and in those years, 2006, 7, I was actually his best performing team member. I was his best performing team member. But he had something against me. Maybe I said something, maybe I did something. I didn't even know what he was upset about me for. But he would always badmouth me in front of others, you know. He would always say कि ये अपने आप को क्या समझता है. No, they would go out for drinks. And with his team, everyone else in the team is saying, I am not there. So he would badmouth me in front of everybody. So like this, 2 years passed and I was working. It didn't make a difference to me. I was doing my work sincerely. I was his best performing team member. In 2009, 10, 8 and 9, I had a different boss. 2010, again I was put in his team. Okay. And again, full year, very, hostile behavior and it was not being very nice to me. And after the year got over, again, I was one of his top performers. Okay. And during my appraisal, I went to meet him and I asked him, I said, I would tell his name, but I said, sir, look, itna kya bura kar diya maine? What have I done? I said, whatever I have done, whatever, मतलब बोला कुछ किया कुछ, whatever I have done, I am unconditionally saying sorry to you. I don't know what it is you're upset with me about. I must have said or done something. Unconditionally, I am saying sorry to you. Please forgive me. I can't work like this. This is not right. Why are you doing this to me? I said, please tell me what have I done wrong. Please forgive me and please tell me what I've done wrong. You know what his response was? Nothing. I don't know why you're saying this. I don't know what you're talking about. And he refused to even acknowledge that there is something. मतलब कितना ईगो है कि मतलब आदमी आके तुम्हारे सामने गिड़गिड़ा रहा है, बेग कर रहा है, प्लीज आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई अपसेट, आई एम जस्ट generally saying sorry. No, you never, and even till this date, 15 years down the road also, अभी भी सामने से sweet smile, but अंदर वो खंजर है ready. So, what kind of ego is this? And how is a relationship possible when we have ego like this? You're not able to forgive someone. मतलब पर्सन सामने से माफी मांगने से भी नहीं. So when we maintain this kind of anger, resentment, hatred in our heart, right? Someone is asking for forgiveness and we are not willing to give. It affects our own heart. Even our own heart is affected. We don't have to think of anybody else. When we don't forgive others, we are maintaining that hatred in our heart towards that person. Because once you forgive, it's gone. No, then there's nothing to be upset about. Yeah, I forgive you. It's okay. No problem. And मैं कौन सा दूध का धुला हूँ? You know, so we can forgive easily if we think of our own faults. But when we don't forgive, that revenge feeling, that hatred, that resentment, it affects our own heart. You know, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj once in a lecture he had mentioned that when someone hurts us, insults us, or does something wrong to us, something bad for us, what happens? We tend to feel violated. We feel upset. We feel, how dare this person? Why he did like this? Why she did like this? We feel very hurt. We feel upset. At that time, Maharaj said that we pick up the burning hot coal of anger. That person threw something at you, burning coal they threw at you. Okay, so it hit your body and it fell down. Now you can leave it there, but what do we choose to do? We pick up that burning hot coal of anger and we hold on to it month after month, year after year, decade after decade, waiting for an opportunity to throw it back on that person. One day I will throw this coal on that person. I'm waiting for a chance. Then I will throw it on that person. But in the meantime, who is suffering? The person who is not willing to forgive, that person only is suffering. Person who threw the coal, they are even forgotten. Sorry, like many times I've seen, you meet somebody after many years and you tell them, that, hey, you have done this to me. In your childhood, you have done this to me, and I still have scars because of that. My heart is full of pain because of that. And that person says, really? I did that? Sorry, I have no memory of it. And you have been burning in your heart for revenge or for whatever feelings are going on in your heart. That person is clean forgotten. But you are the one who's holding the burning coal. So Maharaj says, this only makes us miserable, you know. And more importantly, he says that when we have this revengeful feeling in our mind, when we have this hatred, resentful feeling in our mind, what does it do? He says it burns our virtues and our spiritual qualities. Whatever spiritual qualities we have, if we have a heart that's filled with resentment, anger, hatred, and vengefulness, those qualities, will destroy what spiritual qualities you have. Whatever virtues you have, it will destroy. So he says that that burning coal you're holding, let it go, chhod do usko. Because the person who threw that coal at you has maybe even forgotten. Why are you holding on to it and making yourself, horrible? You're torturing yourself. Just let it go. No, for example, if we keep a toxic, poison in our mind, some sort of a poison there is in our mind, or anything like that, it actually injures our emotional health. It doesn't allow us to be Krishna conscious. When we are chanting, we will not be able to chant peacefully. When we are hearing katha, we will not be able to accept katha. We will be still feeling, but why? Why like that? Why like that? Why? We are never able to let go. That is still burning us. And forgiveness is the art of liberating ourselves from that poison. Because till that poison is there in our mind, we can't think straight. We can't act straight. That person comes in front of us, we become very tight. We become very tense. That उसने ऐसा मेरे साथ किया था. You are burning all the time. But when you're forgiving, you're letting go of that toxic poison, that is destroying our spiritual lives, our emotional health. And if you see this kind of poison of not being able to forgive, it is not it is not restricted to a particular kind of people. It goes beyond people. It goes to communities. It goes to countries. One country like India never has forgiven Pakistan for what they did in 1947. How many years have passed now? 75 years have passed. 77 years have passed. We have not forgiven. They have not forgiven India because we took away Kashmir. They felt that we took away Kashmir. Actually, it is ours only. But they felt they have never forgiven. I mean, the people who were fighting at that time, their great grandchildren are there today. They are still fighting. If you see the dispute between Palestine and Israel, 4, 5 generations, maybe 10, 15, 30 generations have passed. Still they are fighting. Nobody is forgiving each other. Each other, done. I forgive you. You stop doing anything. I also stop. Let's just forgive and forget. No one wants to. Everyone is holding on to their ego. Now, this is the nature of the world. This is the nature of the world. No one forgives anyone. People hold grudges for lifetimes. But if we as practicing devotees, we do the same thing, what is the difference between us and an ordinary politician? What is the difference between us and an ordinary gunda on the road? देखो अभी रास्ते का जो गुंडा होता है, the gundas were there, the goons who are walking on the road. If you by mistake say something to them, and they are seeing, all their followers are there and all common people are there, they will, first thing they will do is they will take revenge immediately. That they will do only. They will get immediate, instant karma you will get for what you said or did. Right? You may have done unknowingly, but still they will punish you. Saza milegi for what you said or did. But it doesn't stop there. They will continue to torment you, harass you, torture you in different ways, mentally, physically. Why? Because how dare you say something to me? You don't know who I am. तो दिल्ली में बोलते हैं वो तो जानता नहीं मैं कौन हूँ, that way. So that ego is there that we are not able to allow someone to even settle down after they said sorry, माफ कर, मार भी दिया उनको, beat them also, but still that guy will not let you peacefully बैठे, उतना ego. So if we don't learn from these things, that this is the nature of the world, that the world is like this, that they never forgive anyone. No one forgives. If we learn from this, then at least as Vaishnavas, we should not like be like this. Because there are so many examples in, you know, our history of great saints who forgave. We see Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, it was he was punished that he will be dragged through 22 marketplaces while being whipped by the guards, by whatever those executioners. So you imagine how humiliating it is, first of all. Forget the physical pain. Someone is, two big, powerful fellows are dragging you by your hands and legs, through a marketplace. Marketplace, why? They can drag you through any private road. Marketplace, क्यों? Everyone can see. Example बनेगा, मिसाल बनेगी. So they want to humiliate him and they want to beat him and kill him off. So the intention is very clear. This is how they want to kill him, by humiliation and physical pain. But still, when Haridas Thakur was looking at them, he was thinking that, my Lord, please forgive them, let them be delivered. He was not thinking that, अरे तुम जानते नहीं हो मैं कौन हूँ. I am Haridas Thakur. I am, great personality. No? I am Brahma. I have come here in this form, but I am Brahma. I have created you, idiot. No, he took a very humble state and he forgave them. In fact, it is described that he was looking at those two executioners with so much compassion in their eyes, in his eyes. He had so much love and compassion for them. He had no hatred towards them. He had no even, matlab, यार ये क्यों कर रहे हो? कुछ भी नहीं. He was just very lovingly, compassionately taking the beating and being humiliated like this without any ill feeling in his heart. This is how Haridas Thakur was doing. And we see in the example of Jesus Christ, I mean, what kind of same, very similar situation, complete humiliation and complete painful. I mean, he was made to carry a cross, and on that cross, through his hands they put nails, through his head they put nails, through his feet they put nails, so that he is nailed to the cross. Barbaric treatment, barbaric. And they are spitting on him, they're throwing stones on him, and all kinds of torture in different ways, mental and physical torture. And what is his response? Oh Lord, please forgive them. They know not what they are doing. They don't know what they are doing. My Lord, please forgive. He has already forgiven. So the interesting thing is, he is not saying to them, I forgive you. He has already forgiven. He is not, forgive कौन करता है? अच्छा, this is an interesting thing to think about. Who forgives somebody? When do you forgive someone? When you're kind-hearted, okay? What else? When you are powerful, you forgive someone. Okay, what else? Uh, we'll come to that. In the questions, you please remember this when you ask this. We'll come to that. So, when you are great, okay, basically we forgive someone when we feel they have done something wrong to us. इसने मेरे से कुछ गलत किया है, कुछ गलत व्यवहार किया, they have acted badly against me, they have spoken badly against me, जा मैं तुझे माफ करता हूँ, I have forgiven you because you did something wrong for me, so therefore I forgive you. But these people, these saintly people, there is no question of forgiving from their side because they feel I deserve this. What did they do? Forgive. He is just doing his duty. The king has told him to beat me and drag me, so he is doing his duty. Who am I to forgive him? I anyway deserve the punishment I'm getting. In fact, I deserve more than this. But the Lord is so merciful to me, He's giving me only so much. This is the consciousness of a pure devotee. We don't have that consciousness. We are nowhere in this. But we have to understand this is the standard that our acharyas have set, that they are not even forgiving because they feel that who am I to forgive this person? Is the instrument of my own karma. Why should I think about forgiving him? They are begging forgiveness on their behalf from the Lord. My Lord, please you forgive them. Because the Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord, they know that even if the devotee forgives that person, the Lord will not forgive. The Lord will not forgive if you blaspheme a devotee, if you hurt a devotee, if you insult a devotee, if you carry a grudge against a devotee. The Lord will not forgive you. Even if that devotee forgives you, Lord will not forgive you. So therefore, Haridas Thakur, Jesus Christ, they are begging forgiveness and my Lord, please forgive this person. Please don't take any offense. They are just doing their job. Like that. So it's a very exalted emotion, forgiveness. Imagine what purity of heart is needed to be able to do this. And even if you don't have that purity of heart, if you actually try to forgive a person, then what happens? You become pure of heart. So if you see Draupadi, Draupadi was insulted like anything, right? And she went through so much. She didn't forgive Dushasana because he was not worthy of being forgiven. She didn't forgive him. And Bhima did the needful, killed Dushasana and jo karna tha sab kar diya. Now after that, after the war was over, only the Pandavas were alive, their 5 sons were alive. And from the Kuru side, everyone was dead except Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, and 1 or 2 more. That's it. Everyone was killed. So in the night, and Duryodhana was lying on the battlefield, the half dead. In the night, Ashwatthama goes and he goes to kill the Pandavas, but he ends up killing the sons of the Pandavas. And he brings their heads in the night, cuts their head off, and he brings their head to Duryodhana. Let's see what I have done. I have killed the Pandavas. He says, you fool, these are not the Pandavas, these are sons of the Pandavas. What have you done? The last living, you have killed that person also. And Duryodhana is not happy. He dies in unhappy state. And then when the Pandavas come to know, Arjuna again takes a vow that I'll bring this person and I'll bring him to your feet to Panchali. So he goes and he captures Ashwatthama and brings him. And after he captures Ashwatthama and brings him to the feet of Draupadi, Bhima is saying, just kill him. Krishna is saying, kill him. He may be Brahman, but he's a son of Brahmana and he's not a real Brahman, he's a Brahma Bandhu. There is no sin in killing him and he has committed a horrible offense. So absolutely don't hesitate, just kill him. Bhima is saying, Supreme Lord is telling Arjuna, but Arjuna is soft-hearted Vaishnava. He's a warrior, but still he's a soft-hearted Vaishnava. He's thinking, I don't know, should I kill, should I not kill? He's not very sure. He goes to Draupadi. Now who is Draupadi? Draupadi is the one whose sons have been killed. Our sons have been killed. All 5 were her sons. See, Pandavas, one of their sons was killed. But for Draupadi, all 5 of her sons were killed. So for her, it is the most painful amongst all the Pandavas. But when she is asked what is to be done, you know what she says? She says, we should forgive him. And everybody is shocked because they're thinking that she'll obviously side with Krishna and she goes against Krishna. She says, no, we should forgive. said, why forget this fellow, this sinful wretch, forget him. He says, yes. Why? She says that what pain I am feeling right now, if he is killed, then Mother Kripi, the wife of Kripacharya, who is his mother, not Kripacharya, sorry, of Dronacharya, wife of Dronacharya, she is alive. She only has a son. No, Drona is dead. So what pain I am feeling, she will also feel. So I don't want to inflict that on her. Let us leave. She decides to forgive. So, our scriptures can be very confusing sometimes. At times she says, no, he deserves to die. At times he says, no, he should be alive. So we have to understand that this quality of being able to forgive is a very beautiful quality. It's a very exotic quality. It's a very beautiful quality. We see in the case of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj also, what was he doing? What was his offense? There was no offense. Ambarish Maharaj was simply fasting for the benefit of his students. That's all. He was simply fasting for the benefit of his citizens. And while he was fasting, almost about to break his fast. So parent timing is going on. At that time, Durvas Muni appears there and says that I'll also have prasad with you. He says, okay, I'll wait for you. He says, I'll just go take my bath and come. Before meeting, I will take a bath. So he goes, Durvasa, and he doesn't come back. Just doesn't come back. And I mean, the time for that parent, the whole 1 year that he has fasted, उसका benefit चला ना जाए और वो benefit उसको कैसे नहीं चाहिए. He wants that benefit for his citizens. So therefore, in that circumstances, Ambarish Maharaj consults his advisors and they tell him that you just sip some charanamrit, that is like breaking fast, and it is not breaking fast. If you see, even we in our temple on Janmashtami day, Radhashtami day, when we are fasting, we take charanamrit. During Guru Puja, we take charanamrit. That is not counted. It is not counted as breaking fast. I remember way back, my first Janmashtami, I was standing in the queue for Guru Puja, and everyone was there. I just took, and I took and I was, I'm तो fasting है ना, chill, relax. ये जन्माष्टमी को ये इसको fasting करना नहीं बोलते. This is all. So like that, someone advised him to take Charanamrit. So he took Charanamrit. After he took the Charanamrit, what happened? At that time, Amrish, Durvas Muni came back. And when Durvas Muni comes back, he becomes angry. Ego. And you had said, wait for me, why you didn't wait? Why you broke your fast? What do you think of yourself? And he created a demon on the spot to kill Amrish Maharaj. I mean, sometimes it's very difficult to understand scriptures, the reactions of these people, why they react like this, very difficult to understand. But the lessons we can get from those things, we may not understand their action, but the lessons we get and the reactions that we see of the pure devotee, we can learn a lot from that. So Durvas Muni, in his anger, is known for his anger. In his anger, either he curses or he created a demon to kill. Now, moment he created that demon, what was Ambarish Maharaj's response? Not that, hey, मालूम नहीं है क्या मैं कौन है करके, मैं राजा है, I'm a I'm a Raja Rishi. He could have taken some astra and immediately shot it off, killed the demon, and then killed Durvasa also. What did he choose? He chose to just put his head down and accept, my Lord, if this is your desire, I am surrendered to your desire. Like that story Mataji sent today, no? Jagannath Ji ka. If it is your desire that the Rath Yatra happens, okay. If you desire, no. Still okay. I put my head down and I surrender to you. So he surrendered. He surrendered. And what was the response? Lord said, Sudarshan, first kill the demon and then going after Durvas Muni. And Durvas Muni, he ran through the entire material world, went to Brahma Loka, went to Shiva Loka, and finally went to Vaikuntha Loka also. And still the Sudarshan was chasing. And he was tired, exhausted. He finally goes to Lord Narayan and says, "My Lord, please forgive. I'm sorry. I committed a blunder. I know. Please forgive me." And Lord Narayan says, "I also cannot forgive you because you have offended my devotee. You please go and beg forgiveness from me." He comes running back and he begs forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj. And what is Amrish Maharaj's response? It is not like आ गया ना लाइन पे बोल रहा था मतलब तेरे को समझ में नहीं आया मैं कौन हूँ. No, his response was that dear Brahmana, how much difficulty you have gone through because of me, and now please. And he continued fasting for one more year. He didn't break his fast. He continued fasting for 1 month till Durga Muni came back. Then he had prasad. So we have these kind of exalted creatures, exalted personalities in our, in our parampara, in our shastra, in our Puranas, who teach us how important it is to forgive. Because you see, if Ambrish Maharaj had not forgiven Durvas Muni, this story would feature in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It would be a sour ending, you know. See, if you see any story of Srimad Bhagavatam, it never has a bad ending. It may have a very bad beginning and bad middle part, but the ending is always transcendent. Always the glories of the devotees come out. Srimad Bhagavatam. So if Amrish Maharaj had not forgiven Durvas Muni, ठीक है चलो जाओ जाओ. No, he was not just forgiving. He was feeling sorry that because of me you had to go through so much difficulty. You see what is the level of forgiveness? We see Nityananda Prabhu when he was attacked by Jagai and Madhai. I mean, Madhai tried to kill him. There was no, उसमें कोई वाद नहीं है, ऐसा कोई discussion नहीं है. Nityananda Prabhu ko Madhai tried to kill him with that pot, and second time he was going to hit him. First time he hit, blood was coming. Second time मतलब वो किलर लोग बोलते हैं ना, मारने के लिए गया था, तभी जगह से मत जाने दो, like that. And Lord Chaitanya came with a chakra to kill both of them. But then Nityananda Prabhu stopped him. He said, "My Lord, this is Kali Yuga. This is not Dwapar Yuga. Dwapar Yuga में सब राक्षस थोड़े कम थे, so you could use your chakra and finish them off." He said that this is Kali Yuga. Everyone is like this. Everyone is sinful. Everyone is envious. Everyone is violent. Everyone is selfish. Everyone has bad qualities. सबको आप चक्र से मारते फिरोगे, कोई बचेगा ही नहीं. You will not be able to achieve your mission, which is to give pure love of Krishna to all living entities. You will never be able to achieve that. He says, "Please, my Lord, please forgive them. I have forgiven them, so you also please." So the Lord said, "Oh, you have forgiven, and I am also like that." So many examples in our Shastra of someone being violently attacked for the purpose of killing, for the purpose of humiliating, for the purpose of insulting somebody violently as an aggressor attack, and still these devotees forgive. So very wonderful, examples that we have in our Shastra that teach us what is expected from us if we call ourselves Vaishnava. तिलक कट्टी डाल के हम लोग वैष्णव नहीं होते. By behaving like Vaishnavas. So one more thing that Maharaj says is, one of the definitions of love. Love is a very weakly understood word in this world. Nobody really knows what love is. There are books written about love. There's a book called 5 Languages of Love. Anyone has heard about that? 5 Languages of Love. Very, very famous book. It says that everyone has different language of love, of expressing their love. There is a physical language, there is the verbal language, the language of giving gifts, different ways of doing service for somebody, different ways of expressing love. But one of the definitions of love is to endlessly forgive someone. If you really love somebody, no matter how many mistakes they make, you will still forgive them. Who shows this in this material world? Mothers. Mothers are the only ones who have the ability to endlessly forgive. बच्चा कितना भी गलती करे, माँ माफ कर देती. Fathers are not able to forgive. Fathers, tend to be more rational and they say, yeah, this person is not worthy of being forgiven. But mothers have the ability to endlessly forgive. So this is what is expected from a Vaishnava. Be that Vaishnava who has the ability to keep on forgiving. We'll come to your question, Roji, or Gita. You just remind me, we'll come to that. But yeah, if we have that ability, then we should try to forgive. Sometimes, it is easier to forgive an enemy than to forgive a friend. Why? If there's someone who's an enemy, you can forgive them. But if a friend commits a mistake, it is very difficult to forgive them. Why? Huh? He has betrayed your friendship. Dagabaaj. Because enemy है, तो enemy से हम लोग यही उम्मीद करते हैं, ठीक है माफ कर दिया जा. But किसी दोस्त ने, if your husband does something to you, if your wife does something to you, if a very dear friend, very dear person does something to you, it is all the more difficult to forgive that person. Very difficult. So, Maharaj says that it is because the more intimate relationship we have with somebody, the more we expect from them. We expect them to be perfect. Because if you love me, how you behave like this? If you love me, how you speak like this? How can you speak like this? So it is very easy to hurt a person who loves you. It is difficult to hurt a person who doesn't love you. You realize? Someone doesn't love you, you can't hurt them. You say anything to them, it कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. हाँ ठीक है, हाँ so what? हाँ मैं हूँ ऐसा, क्या करूँ? But if someone loves you and then you say something, that really hurts them. So, Maharaj once he mentioned in this lecture that the police every day they have their briefing, before they go out into the roads for patrolling. का एक briefing होता है. तो उनको they're always, the police, they're always fearless when dealing with mafia. तो चोर उच्चक के गुंडे लोग रहते हैं, उनके साथ डील करने में they are fearless. But they feel very afraid in dealing in disputes between two people who love each other. Because those become more violent. Those people become more violent and they don't see आजू बाजू में कौन है. They will do what they have to do. Very difficult to follow. So, from this, what we can learn is when you are dealing with people who are near and dear ones, your friends, Vaishnavas, your relatives, your parents, your children, your brothers, sisters, neighbors, near and dear people, you have to be more careful. Because they are close to you, your ability to hurt them is more. So you have to be more sensitive. Be very careful. And if at all you have committed an error, ask forgiveness. And what if they have committed an error? Because everyone, as I said in the very beginning, this is Kali Yuga. No one is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. Nobody is above mistakes. Nobody has the ability to, just sitting in this hall, इस हॉल में बैठ के भी, by doing nothing, we have the ability to offend others. कुछ न करते हुए भी we have the ability to offend others. Whether the person takes offense or not is a different thing. We have the ability to offend people without doing anything. This is the material world. This is Kali Yuga. ऐसे ही होता है कि आदमी बैठा है इधर, लेक्चर दे रहा है और सामने वाले को देख रहा है and he's thinking, माता जी ऐसे क्यों देख रही है, प्रभु जी ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं, why is looking at his phone, he's not interested in what I'm saying. Anyone wants to be offended, they can be offended by anything, right? But equally, we should understand this is the nature of the world. Then, I should be willing to forgive. I should not hold on to so many things, you know. And Jesus Christ, another key Maharaj quotes from Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ explained that unless you forgive those who hurt you, unless you forgive those who hurt you, God will not forgive you. In other words, in forgiving, we are forgiven. So when he said this, that in forgiving, we are forgiven by the Lord. If we don't forgive someone who hurt us, the Lord will not forgive us. In forgiving, we are forgiven. So one of his disciples, Peter, asked him, how many times to forgive? Like हम लोग भी ऐसा, I'm sure one question might have come also. कितनी बार forgive करने का? बार बार गलती करते. How many times to forgive? So he asked, how many times you should forgive? 7 times? Jesus said 7 times, 7 times. That means 49 times, 50 times also you should be willing to forgive. If someone offers you, he slaps you on one cheek for another. And he himself showed that spirit when he was crucified. Like again, I'm speaking of Maharaj only, Raghunath Maharaj only. When he was in New Vrindavan, he was living in New Vrindavan. He's written about it in the book uh, Journey Home. But he has written only till the point where he reached there. Where he reached New Vrindavan. उसके आगे कुछ नहीं लिखा. He's silent about it. Because he suffered like anything. 1972 all the way up to 1982, 1981. 9, 10 years. Unbelievable austerity, unbelievable suffering, unbelievable, some crazy amount of difficulty he went because of the superiors that he had. Never speaks about it. And he never held a grudge in his heart. So he's not just speaking his exalted words, he's living this. He never talks about it in any lecture. Once upon a time, way back, I think in 1992 or something, I say jokingly he mentioned a couple of the things that was happening. And people were like, "Aisa hua tha?" And then he stopped talking. He never spoke about it again. You know? So if we focus, on finding fault, if we focus on the mistake that somebody made, and we are not willing to let go of it, we cannot we cannot be good Vaishnavas, we cannot be good preachers. What we preach to others? Because people are watching you as a preacher, people are watching you. That how you are behaving with another devotee, how you are behaving with some common people, you're not able to forgive them. And plus, if we focus on faults of others, when we focus on faults of others, when we don't want to forgive, but she did like that, she spoke like that, he did like this. Why should I forgive him? Every time he does like this only. So if we focus on faults of others, then what happens? If we focus on faults of others, then what happens? We find only the faults. First of all, we become like that fly, that monkey. Fly mentality comes. What else? Our heart gets contaminated. What else? We also become like them. Yeah, this is a very strong point. If you meditate on the faults of others, two things happen. One, when many things happen, but two very prominent things happen. One, we lose sight of our own faults. हमको हमारा गलती दिखता ही नहीं है. Because we are focused on other people's faults. तो हमारा fault कैसे दिखेगा? दिखेगा ही नहीं आपको. And second, like what Mataji said, those faults come into us. I have seen this. You have to be so careful. Not just as devotees. I remember in school, one of my classmates, there was a boy called Nitesh Dev. Today, anyway, I'll tell you that later what he is today. So Nitesh Dev had a stammering problem. He used to stammer. बहुत stammer करता था. ऐसा अटक जाता था. He could not speak. And there were some people in our class that used to make fun of him. But then over a period of time, it died down. But अपना 1 साल सीनियर एक लड़का था, वो उसको इमिटेट करता था, उसका मजाक उड़ाने के लिए उसको इमिटेट करता था. He used to ऐसा स्टैमर इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम, क्या नितेश कैसा है, ऐसा करके जानबूझ के ऐसा बात करता था. You will not believe it. 2-3 years later, he developed a stammer. It became part of him. He caught that quality. So yeah, I've seen this. Maharaj says, be careful what fault you find in others, because you will be forced very soon to pass that test. For example, आपने किसी को बोल दिया कि no, you should not, provoking situations में should maintain humility. You should be very humble. The greatness of people is understood by their ability to tolerate provoking situations. या आपने किसी को ज्ञान दे दिया when they are getting provoked, when they are getting upset because of something somebody said, and you went like a great sadhu with your hand like this raised. Greatness of people is estimated by their ability to tolerate provoking situations. Prabhuji, Mataji, please don't be agitated like this. ऐसा ज्ञान दे दिया ना आपने, very soon you will be placed in such a situation, provoking situation, where you will be forced to control. No, control. Why? Because you made that statement. And this, 100%, I'm telling you, I've seen it many times. When I give gyan to somebody, you know, that, Arey, Prabhu, aisa nahi karne ka, right way to behave. 2 days later, some situation like that comes on me. And then my wife is looking at me. बेटा बहुत अच्छा बोला था वो दिन, अब देखते कैसा बिहेव करता है. This is a fact. So if we focus on other people's faults, then those faults come into us and we lose sight of our own faults. So forgiveness is a very beautiful thing, you know, that it's like the fragrance of a flower. You take a rose, right? Take a beautiful rose flower and you crush it with your foot. What happens? More fragrance is released, and that flower which got crushed makes the heel of that foot fragrant. What a fantastic thought. That forgiveness is the fragrance that a flower like a rose leaves on the heel that crushed it. Someone crushed you and you forgive him. What a fantastic thing that is. Very difficult. I'm not saying, see, I'm the first one to say this is not easy. But that's what is expected. From the Bhagavad Gita point of view, also we have to understand that it is an illusion to be disturbed by events that affect our body, our mind, our false ego. They have nothing to do with us. Who am I? Who am I? I'm the soul. At least Bhagavad Gita says no, that you're not the body, you're the soul. So what happened to the body? If you are upset by that, that is illusion. What happened to your mind? If you are upset by that, that is illusion. What happened to your false ego? What hurt my ego? What hurt ego? That is also illusion. So from Bhagavad Gita point of view, these things that happen at body, mind, and false ego level, no illusion. So why are we getting so affected? But in the conditioned concept, when we are conditioned soul, if you're really a devotee, if you're really speaking Bhagavad Gita, but if you're living by Bhagavad Gita, we will not allow these things to affect us. But if we are getting affected, we suffer terribly. So don't be affected by what is happening in this material world, because material world is like this. People are nasty, people are selfish, people are insensitive. ये तो दुनिया का दस्तूर है, दुनिया ऐसा ही है. Unfortunately, the world is like this. And Prabhupada says, Don't blame the instrument of your own karma. If someone said something nasty to you, someone did something nasty to you, guess what? It's your own karma. This person is just the instrument. So we should have, Prabhupada says that we should have the ability, the willingness, and the ability to forgive under any situation, any circumstance. There is nothing like, no, 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 no. This is too much to forgive. ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया. ये तो माफ ही नहीं कर सकते. ऐसा कोई है ही नहीं situation. If you look at it from the point of view, look at it from the lens of the Gita, these are all temporary things that are happening to us based on our own karma. So what is this? I cannot forgive. What is this? Right? So forgiveness is, you may say that I don't have the ability to forgive. Some people may say, like sometimes children say, no, बच्चे लोग बोलते हैं, I don't have willpower like you, Papa. You have great willpower. I don't have. Willpower is not an ability, it's choice. It's a choice. I choose to do this now. I don't want to do it, but I choose to do it. That's a choice. Make a choice. That's willpower. Forgiveness is also a choice. To say that I can't forgive this person, unless he apologizes. मेरे पैर के नीचे अपना नाक रगड़ेगा तो मैं सोचूंगी. Or even if the person apologizes, I will not forgive. To say I can't forgive is to actually say that I don't want to. So that you can't forgive, you don't want to. And Maharaj says, don't give away that power to forgive. It's your choice. That doesn't matter. Whatever this person did, I'm forgiving. But actually, who am I to even forgive? This is my karma coming back to me. मैं कौन होता है इसको forgive करने का? Lord, you please forgive. So, to conclude, we may say that देखो यार ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया. This is too much of an exalted concept for ordinary people like us to follow. हमारे लिए तो बहुत tough है यार, ये forgive word वगैरह अपने को नहीं जमता है सब, बहुत tough है. But we have to understand that if, as Vaishnavas, some point in our lives, in our journey, this material world, we want to be, we want to be liberated from cycle of birth and death, go back to Godhead. How can we expect the Supreme Lord Krishna to forgive us for all the mistakes that we have made? Millions or millions of lifetimes we have been committing mistakes. We've been committing sinful activity for billions of lifetimes. And we continue to do it even while we are practicing Vaishnavas. अभी ऐसा कोई दूर का दूल्हा तो है नहीं, अभी भी गलतियां कर रहे हैं. How can we expect Krishna to forgive us when we are not willing to forgive Vaishnavas? Vaishnavas नहीं, even as we forgive anybody. अपने दूध वाले को माफ करो. उसने एक बार गलती किया, माफ करो उसको. Because this muscle, if we are able to build forgiving people, it softens our heart. A hard-hearted person can become soft-hearted simply by forgiving. Okay, leave it. I'll end with this one last point. When my mother was passing away, she was on her deathbed. This is in 2013. So one time, His Grace Govind Prabhu came to see her. So Govind Prabhu came to see her, and he gave some very beautiful instructions. He said, Mataji, she asked him, how do you prepare for death? How should I prepare my mind, my consciousness? He said, Mataji, First of all, if you have offended somebody in your life, verbally, physically, any way, first thing, go say sorry to them. If you can't go, call them up. If you can't call them up also, in your mind you beg forgiveness. Dandavat karo, maafi mango. So this is one thing he said. That beg for forgiveness if you have committed offenses. Second thing he said, if someone has offended you and you have been carrying a grudge in your heart against that person, please forgive them. Don't carry that grudge in your heart. Please forgive them. And third thing he said is, if someone has done something nice for you in your life and you haven't really expressed your appreciation, not really thanked them, please thank them. He said, by doing this, अपने कॉन्शियसनेस में, अपने सटल बॉडी में हम लोग जो भी नेगेटिव थॉट्स कैरी कर रहे हैं, negative about what? Somebody said something to you, you made a mistake, you committed some mistake, and by your ego, you never said sorry. That ego you're carrying, when you say sorry, you're dropping that ego. When somebody has offended you and you forgive them in your mind, you are no longer carrying that resentment, that hatred, that vengeful attitude. You're not carrying that. वो भी छोड़ दिया. And if someone did something nice for you thank them, आपने वो भी ऋण छोड़ दिया, then you are ready to go back. Your consciousness is ready. So forgiveness is a wonderful quality and we all as Vaishnavas must cultivate. Because this is one of the price that you need to pay if you want to win the mercy, win the forgiveness of the Lord for the billions of blunders that we are committing on a daily basis. रोज कोई ना कोई गलती होता है अपने से. भगवान हमको सब चीज के लिए माफ कर. अभी भी जमा चालू है. With all our mistakes, we are still chanting. Right? The Lord has that nature. He forgives. So let us also be like that. Try to please the Lord by having a simple heart, which is not carrying any grudges. Very happy to forgive anybody for mistakes. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki. Yeah, any question? Oh, you had a question. Yeah. So the Bhagavad Gita speaks about dharma, first of all. Krishna, at the start of the Gita, he speaks about dharma. That what is your dharma as a Kshatriya? You have to do your dharma. If somebody has committed grave offense, they need to be punished. Because as a Kshatriya, if you don't punish them now, in their next life, they will suffer terribly. So, they deserve to be punished as per Kshatriya dharma. As per dharma, they have to be punished. So, first, Krishna speaks about dharma in the Gita. But as the Bhagavad Gita, like a, like a thriller, एक पिक्चर में thriller रहता है ना कि पहला सीन में कुछ होता है, फिर दूसरा सीन में कुछ और होता है, and then by the end the tension becomes so much, end में ऐसा विस्फोट हो जाता है. So the climax of the thriller is where Krishna tells him, forget all this dharma, just do what you're doing for me. Just surrender to me. With love, you surrender to me, do what you're doing for me. I will take care. ये धर्मा ये सब मैं देख लेता. हाँ. Yes. Yes. To whom it is being highlighted. Correct. That's a good point. So to whom it is being highlighted? Forgiveness. See, if here we were having an assembly of judges and police people, then yes, this is the wrong topic. But when we're talking of devotees who are trying to become soft hearted Vaishnavas, if we are unwilling to let go of something somebody did or something someone said to us, that one quality, that one unwillingness, that ego that we hold will not allow us to progress in bhakti, right? But if your profession, your dharma, your profession is such that you're in police, you're in some law enforcement agency, then you are not supposed to forgive. You are supposed to act as per the law. So that is very clear. That similarly, when Arjuna wanted to forgive, he said, "अरे जाने दो यार, they are my cousins. ये मेरा गुरु है, ये मेरे दादाजी है, ये मेरे cousins है, इनको कैसे मार सकता हूँ? जाने दो ना." But उन्होंने गलती की, नहीं गलती क्या जाने दो, जाने दो. मैं माफ कर दिया, माफ कर दिया. Why he was forgiving? Because he felt it is not because he wanted to forgive. He was forgiving because he was overwhelmed with attachment to them. He said, "They are my near and dear ones. I will commit sin by killing them." Therefore, he wanted to forgive. So, an interesting point over here, which came out somewhere in the discussion, that only those who have the the capacity to forgive, as in they have the right to forgive, only they should forgive. So only someone who is strong actually can forgive. Someone is not. अभी किसी ने कोई एक बंदा आके किसी को बुली कर रहा है स्कूल में, कॉलेज में बुली कर रहा है, रैगिंग कर रहा है, और वो वीक वाला आदमी उसको बोलता है, जा मैंने तेरे को माफ किया. माफ किया, वो वापस आकर दो थप्पड़ और मार के जाएगा. बट इफ देयर समवन हु इज रियली स्ट्रांग, रियली पावरफुल, एंड उसको किसी ने मारा, बोलता है कि तेरा भी इधर चटनी बना सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं तुझे माफ करता हूँ. आई फॉरगिव यू. And yeah, then that forgiveness has some value. So, as Vaishnavas, forgiveness only is our superpower. The ability to forgive, as we said, the ability to forgive is a superpower. And we need to cultivate that superpower, because that is what will soften our heart. That is what will please the Lord. We're doing what we're doing to please Krishna. So, in some cases, if we are in law enforcement kind of profession, there's no question of forgiving. We have to enforce the law. But here we are not, we are not law enforcers. We are all trying to be devotees. As devotees, this is a good quality for us to cultivate in our hearts. Is it okay? Yes. Yes.
Because this person has committed mistake,
so when we know that सामने वाला सांप है, हमको पता है सामने वाला सांप है, तो उसको आप बोलो मत कि आपने फॉरगिव किया है. डोंट टेल, बट इन योर माइंड यू फॉरगिव. इन योर माइंड. See, we are not here to make a show. हमें किसी को इम्प्रेस नहीं करना है कि जा, हाँ मैं तेरे को माफ किया. You did a very bad thing to me, but still I am so large-hearted that I forgave you. ऐसा जब हम लोग करते हैं ना, जताने के लिए दूसरे को कि मैं देख कितना बड़ा दिल है मेरा, I forgive. When we do things like this, na, ultimately it comes back on. So when we forgive also, yes. So forgiveness also, when we give it in your heart. Unless a person personally comes to you and says, "I'm sorry," say, it's okay, I forgive you. No problem. But don't make a big deal of it, because this is the nature of the world. Like we were discussing, that कितनी बार माफ करने का, like कितनी बार भूल जाने का. Like my wife says, 100 times I've told you this. Please do the same thing. सुबह उठने के बाद बेडशीट फोल्ड करने को कितना टाइम बोलता है, क्यों नहीं करता है? हाँ, we नहीं करते. नहीं करता, मैं हूँ ऐसा. But my wife has learned to let go. Because if she holds on to that, who will suffer? She will suffer. Because मैं तो नहीं बदलने वाला. So she will only suffer. No? So therefore, better to forgive and forget. You know, when we have wrong expect, not wrong, not wrong expectations, but we have expectations from other people, and they don't behave in the way we are expecting. What happens? Who suffers? We suffer. Therefore, forgive and forget. Much safer position like that. Hare Krishna. Yes, bro. I have recorded. I have recorded. I have recorded because I also need to hear this again. I don't have forgiveness. Huh? I'll put in the group. Yeah. There's no forgiveness. You are just sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 Different. Different. Yeah. Different. Different. Yeah. That's a great question. So sometimes we forgive somebody for something and they repeat the mistake in different ways. Variety देते वो अपने को. जैसे बच्चे लोग करते हैं ना कभी कभी. हाँ कि आपने एक चीज पे करेक्ट किया तो उसने वो बंद किया, दूसरा चीज चालू किया, दूसरे पे करेक्ट किया वो भी बंद किया, तीसरा चीज चालू किया. इसलिए यू नो ये इसको दबाया तो ये खुल गया, इसको दबाया तो ये खुल गया, कुछ ना कुछ चालू रहता है. First, I mean, if you look at it philosophically, like what Prabhupada is saying, understand this is your own karma due to which you are suffering. Don't be upset with the instrument of your own karma. This is one way of looking at it. Second way of looking at it is if someone in your life is very toxic, like this, very toxic, creating a lot of pain and misery for you, see if you can take that person out of your life. Stay away because yeah, मतलब every time I interact with this person, मुझे सिर्फ दर्द ही मिलता है. I just get pain. So avoid that person completely. Forgive in your heart, you forgive. Stay away. No? चाहिए नहीं है. But if you are not able to even put that person out of your life, okay? For example, if someone really near and dear is living in the same house or वैसा ये प्रोग्राम में हर टाइम मिलता है, ऐसा कोई है जो बार बार अपने को तंग कर रहा है. Then again, I go back to what Govind Prabhu says. Govind Prabhu says, if somebody is really torturing you, troubling you, we have three choices. One choice is tolerate. Just tolerate. Because Gita says tolerate. That Tansi Dikshasu Bharata. What is that? Matras Prashastu Paunteya. Shitoshna Shuddha Dukada. Agama Apayan Nityas. Tansi Dikshasu. So Krishna tells Arjuna, please tolerate. Like summer and winter keep coming and going, but say happiness and distress will keep coming. You just tolerate. One is tolerate. Second, do something about it. Second choice, Govind Prabhu says, is do something about it. Meaning what? Confront that person. Why are we behaving this way? I don't appreciate this. What have I done? I don't appreciate this. Please don't do this. Confront. Or go to their authority. If you can't confront them, उनका कोई authority है तो उनको जाके complain करो कि ये ऐसा क्या कर रहे हैं? He's behaving like this. That person will deal with that because you don't have any power to deal with that person. Then you have to go to the right authority. Go to the police. Go to the law. Go to somebody who can deal with this person. And then he says third option. First option was what? Tolerate. Second option is do something, take action. Third option is the person who can neither do something, तो वो कुछ करने का हिम्मत है ही नहीं, and tolerate करने की क्षमता नहीं है. तो ये पर्सन क्या है? बीच में अटका हुआ suffering person. He keeps suffering because neither he has the ability to do something, nor he has the ability to tolerate. He's suffering from within. Tolerate नहीं कर पा रहा है वो. Such a person suffers the most. Don't be the third person. Be the first person or the second person. Either learn how to tolerate, saying that this is my karma, what can I do? Or be the person who takes action. Take some action. Otherwise, you're just going to suffer. Okay? Yeah. And why should you keep quiet? It's not. See, forgiveness does not mean that someone रोज आके आपको कोई चाकू से मार रहा है तो I forgive you भाई, प्रभु जी ने लेक्चर में बोला था forgive करो. ऐसा नहीं है. We have to be practical. If somebody is doing something that is harmful, it is hurting your self-respect, like you say, someone is insulting you again and again and again and again, why should you take it? It's hurting your self-respect. Take action. I mean, any wife who's being insulted by their husband on a daily basis, any husband who's being insulted by his wife on a daily basis. See, if you have a very loving relationship with each other, just one minute. Just one minute. No, there are no limitations. It's not a limitation. See, we are saying that you have to understand that any principle, like you said, there's a time, place, and circumstance, right? But those time, place, and circumstances are for the exceptions. General rule is, as a good human being, as a good Vaishnava, we should learn to forgive. There may be certain exceptions that come as per time, place, and circumstance. Those are exceptions. They are not the rule. The rule is learn to forgive. If you want to be a good devotee, learn to forgive. Okay? Does that answer your question? Anybody else? Shall we conclude? हरे कृष्णा. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री गुरुदेव की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी.